Oh my goodness. What just happened? Everything was just all good until it wasn't. Like, I'm gonna be honest, when I read this chapter, like, of course, like, I just got done reading the chapter. I'm now recording right now, and it's hard for me to contain, like, hold on, let me get my words. All right, I can't even focus. Like, hold on, I can't even talk.
Could you do you want you could do so?
All right, we got this. So, Black Clover Chapter 317 was titled Change in Men. This chapter was insane. It was crazy. Like, you felt everything was kind of fine for the most part, but that part of you felt like, okay, everything is too good, to the point where it had that eerie feeling. And this man, Lucifero, comes out looking like a White Walker. We're going to talk about the other devil as well, but this man looked like a White Walker from Game of Thrones, and I lost my mind. And these are the kind of chapters that I really, really love, because I love that suspense, unpredictable feeling that you get from reading a chapter, because you felt like something was going to happen, but not like this. Not like this. Because last chapter was pretty hype, because we saw Asta transform into his Devil Union form, and we see like this new variation of his form while he's holding a demon / a katana. And something about that move he did against the Lucifero Worm Devil, we all know had Yami vibes all over it, because it was almost a direct copy to Yami's Monozone Equinox Dimension Slash, and it was dope. And the chapter ended like a little finale to this arc, but now we here, so the chapter begins with the aftermath of Asta using his demon / katana Equinox move to this Lucifero Worm Devil, but it's falling apart. And it's a good thing that it's defeated, but the bad thing is that it's going to crash against the entire castle, the entire area where the citizens are at. And not just them, but also the Magic Knights. But we had our Spade Prince come and save the day, you know. And if you notice, he is being healed by Mimosa, but if you look at his bow, it's completely different than how he used the Spirit of Eurus the first time, which I will explain. When Yuno used the Spirit of Eurus bow the first time against Xenon, it went through him, and you see the bow, it has no circle around it. However, this time there is a circle, which is a sign that he is using Spirit of Eurus in Saint Stage form. And you can tell that using Saint Stage is a huge increase to all his abilities, because when he used Spirit of Eurus the first time against Xenon, it went through him like a bullet, like a piercing. However, it didn't cause crazy impact like an explosion, just like what he did with this Lucifero Worm Devil. So it lets you know that Spirit of Eurus, you know, using that in Saint Stage is now to a higher degree, because it completely obliterated this Worm Devil. And I know for a fact, for the people that are into shipping, that saw this panel and just like, oh my god, Mimosa X, you know, it's happening, confirmed with proof. Like, like, I know how you guys are. I'm probably gonna see it in the comment section of this video, so I know y'all out there. But back to Yuno. Yuno's power has fully increased, and you can see Asta from the distance. He also saw what happened, and he's cheering on Yuno like, man, like, you amazing, bro. And same with Yuno, the way he's looking at Asta, because after what Asta just did, Yuno is very impressed. They both impressed with each other, and I do love how this rivalry dynamic has slowly matured more so than how we saw it during the tournament. Because when Yuno first achieved Spirit Dive, Asta really wanted to use his black form against Yuno, but since he lost and he felt like Yuno was going against a captain, he felt as though Yuno was superior at this time, which he was. Asta was slightly depressed after this arc, but that quickly changed because he also was getting stronger, and we also saw on the Elf arc, they were at equal footing for the most part. But Yuno was still slightly stronger during this time because of the Elf boost. But now, this time, you can argue to say that Asta is stronger, or you can even say that Yuno has the advantage. But I think this would be a speed versus power, and I would love to make a Yuno versus Asta video. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. Now, of course, while William is falling, the only person that was definitely going to catch him was Patry. You know, he made it his mission to do this. He flew all the way up to catch William. Langris was also satisfied at seeing this, but this makes sense that Patry was the one to catch William. At this point, they are technically brothers. You know, they've been in part of each other since they were young. Since the longest time, you know, William felt as though Patry was always a part of him, so this is like his brother, man. This is his best friend, so it makes sense. So someone is looking out for William and also the Golden Dawn members. And in Yami's case, he finally touched down, and all the Black Bull members, they run to him and they are so happy. Of course, you can't really tell with Zora's expression. His face stood out to me because out of everyone, he looks like he just unimpressed. But that's just Zora's resting face, you know, like he can't help it. However, this part of the chapter, I started to get worried because the way Noct looked, He was looking to the distance, almost as if something really just wasn't right. And he was right, but we will get to that. We see the rest of the Magic Knights. They are all happy. They just like, wow, it's finally over. Let's call it a day. We can now go back home to the Clover Kingdom and just protect the citizens there. You know, everything here is now squashed. Like, things were just too happy. Even the space citizens, you know, they going up to Yuno, which I thought was funny. Like, oh, now you can help us restore the kingdom. And, you know, just looking like, bruh, like, I'm going back to the Clover Kingdom. However, it is very interesting to see what's going to happen with Yuno's decision, because is he going to go back to the Clover Kingdom, or is he going to help restore the Spade Kingdom, because he is the prince and technically soon to be king. And that's a very interesting decision we can see play in the future of the story, and I will make a video about that. However, after all the happiness died down, out of nowhere, this small devil just appeared, was just there, just chilling. And in my first thought when I read this chapter, I'm like, who is this? This not Lucifero. Then I quickly remembered, the second gate did open, and we saw more devils come out, but Tabata purposely didn't show a supreme rank devil come out. And then it just rang a bell. I'm like, oh, this is him or her or whatever this thing is. Because based off the Tree of Cliftoff lore, where the devils are residing at, the first gate is Nama and Lilith. The second gate is where Adramelech is, the devil who is known as the King of Fire. And I will break this whole mythos down because it's a lot to take in with the Tree of Cliftoff mythology, but that's where the second devil is at. And this devil is described with having a lot of fur, or a peacock devil. And we saw this devil in this chapter. He has a lot of fur around him. So this character may be based off the reference to that demon. However, I will break that down in a separate video once the official release is out. When this devil showed up, he told everyone, why are you all just taking things so easy? The sooner the better, you should all leave here. And not in this chapter, he confirms it. He said this is the devil from the second layer, but the way he's looking, he just completely froze. And I gotta say, I did laugh at this because everyone was so happy and smiling, and quickly their face expressions just changed, like, and this devil proceeds to say that Lucifero's manifestation is now halfway through, and we saw the manifestation is now taking place. It's like his whole body started to warp and he just hatched out of this cocoon. And this was just insane, because seeing something like this in this chapter, you know, I lost my mind, because I'm like, wait, not just one devil, but two? What the heck are they going to do? And the answer was nothing, because Lucifero came out with the greatest debut in Black Clover. He says, hey, you there, looking at everyone. And he said, your heads are raised far too high. And he points down to use presence of the Demon King. And this was a metaphor, because he said, you guys' heads are raised far too high, meaning that you need to bow down to the king. But also, using presence of the Demon King, gravity magic goes hand to hand to his status as well. And you see everyone is completely flatlined. Lucifero just bodied everyone in a matter of seconds. And this is really bad because the Magic Knights are all exhausted. And you see in Asta, he's showing up last minute because he was in a distance. So he wasn't near when this whole thing went down. And Lucifero looks at Asta in the most disgusted look. Like, just looking at Asta like, you filthy bastard. You was foolish enough to interrupt me with my complete manifestation. And he just gives Asta this cold look. And Asta and Liebe, they are both in fear. Asta is sweating, and this was the greatest cliffhanger that Tabata has ever done in Black Clover. Like, this was a 10 out of 10 chapter for me. I loved everything about this chapter because it was a slap to the face. You thought everything was all fine, and then everything went bad quickly. And everyone was just flatlined. Asta shows up with just Liebe, and they are the only ones surrounded by two supreme devils. And not just any devils, but Lucifero as well. And this is going to go crazy because Liebe is going to remember Lucifero and what he did to Lasita. He might rage out. Asta is in complete fear. He has no help. I'm not sure if anybody else is going to get back up. Who knows? And the crazy thing about this chapter was the editor's notes. It ends with saying war is about to break out. Like, we were not in a war arc. We were in a rescue, raid, invasion type arc. This was a rescue mission. This wasn't war. If this wasn't war, then we can only imagine. But I can also imagine you subscribing to the channel with notification bells on to see more Black Clover content from me right to your YouTube feed. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Check out my other anime and manga content. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed. And I'm out.